I'm going to just chat to you guys. I'm really grateful that I can't see you. Every time I get up here, I think, just turn those lights on nice and bright so I can't see everyone. I'm going to chat to you about loving the season that you're in now. Okay. Right. Have you ever been in the wilderness? It kind of feels a little bit like this. Lonely and scary and frustrating. And you don't really know what you're doing or where you're going, but you know you're stuck here for a little while. And the good news is, seeds also have this period of time in the soil. This is kind of what they see for many months. If they had eyes, this would be what they saw. And then suddenly, they pop out through the soil. Okay? And then we have a little seedling that pops out. They do not pop out like this. This is what we all hope. We all hope that as soon as our wilderness season is over, we have this beautiful fragrant rose, and unfortunately, this is not how it works. So I just want to really just encourage you guys a little bit this evening, because I've felt like I've kind of been in the wilderness a little bit. So we don't come out as fully grown trees, but as a seedling, and we still have lots of growing to do. If you look at a rose bush, for example, this isn't what pops out of the ground. The seedling pops out of the ground. This creeps around it's a vine, so it creeps over like man-made arches. I don't know what they do in real life, but that's what they do where we find them. They creep around little arches, and they grow, and then there's little buds that come. And have you ever sniffed a rosebud? Does it smell? No, it doesn't. But it has everything inside of it that it needs to be able to emit this beautiful fragrance once it does blossom. And it has all of that inside of it, even when it's a seed. It has that. So these are dirty, so it's like 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. So even the seed has got everything in it that it needs to produce that fragrance. But that fragrance doesn't come out till the perfect time. The fragrance doesn't come out until the actual blossom opens, until that bud actually opens up. So don't rush your process. If this had just popped straight out of the ground, kids or people or animals would just trample on it and it would be wasted. And if it pops up and it's only this big, there's something in the waiting, there's something in the process is what makes this beautiful. Okay. Something that I've learned is we need to learn to be content and grateful in the season that we're in right now. Okay. Has anybody been in a season of confinement? Or is possibly in one right now? Okay. I certainly am. Okay. I gave up my job, which I really loved, to be at home with my 2 children, who, some of you know them. I think that's why God actually let me give up my job, because they are full-time jobs. My daughter, just trying to keep her like on the straight and narrow, and she just turned 4, and she tells me, and she knows that it grates me, but I don't know where she learns this stuff. I don't know where she learns it, but she lies in the bath like this. She goes, "Look, Mom, I'm a mermaid." I'm like, and I try not to let her see. So I say, mermaids aren't real. Because I don't like, anyway, so we have a little So we were in Kloof Library the other day, and she says to me, hold on, this was a cracker. Sometimes I just want to march her interfere in his office, to be honest. She looks at me and she says, "Mom, I love evil." So I'm like, "Do you? Okay." She says, "You see this DVD over here? It has evil in it. And I want to watch it. I love evil. And I love magic." Oh. And I don't even have a job to escape to. This is my all day, every day. She goes to school, praise the Lord. Otherwise, I would have to take tranquilizers every day, I think. So she goes to school. But yes, this is my period of confinement. I have no job. I feel like outside of my home and my children, I barely exist, okay? And I'm just going to be honest with you, and I won't be full of mom jokes, because I know there's not a lot of moms here, but I'll try, Anyway, when we lived at our old house, the electricity was in my name, because apparently I had more time on my hands to get that sorted out. I did have a job back then, okay? So anyway, we sell our house. It's nearly a year later, okay? We get the deposit back, which is a decent amount of money, okay? So I go, and it's in my name. And guess what? I don't have a bank account. My bank account and Craig's bank account, they're one bank account. Guess who the main name is? C.N. Hildebrandt, not me. So I took my check to the bank, and I said, can you turn this into money for me? She said, no, I can't. You don't have a bank account. I was like, but it's like this was my money. I put this money in here. They're just giving it back to me. So she's like, well, you see it says non-transferable on the side. I was like, it's not transferring, it's me. Give me my money. No, I had to go back. 2 days later, now with the children in tow, okay, I made sure I went to Pick and Pay first, so I had those blasted stickies with me to entertain Jude, yeah. So I take Jude, Sage is at school, take Jude with me. I think I'm going. I went, opened my bank account, deposited my check, and now I exist again. And I felt so proud of myself. All right, and I've had people look at me with these dreamy eyes and say, oh, you just must be loving being at home. It must have been such an easy adjustment for you. And for those of you who know me, it was actually a real sacrifice. I love my kids to death, and I would do anything for them. But my idea of fun is like going to a job where I feel like I'm good at something, and grown-ups can tell me, well done. Because kids are not so forthcoming with praise. And my son, so Sage loves evil and magic and mermaids. And my son is turning 2 in January, and he doesn't talk, okay? So I feel like we could make a movie out of my house, because he kind of points and grunts. I feel like he went straight to teenager. And I'm thinking, just tell me what you want, guy. I'll give it to you. Just tell me what you want. Kong, 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 kong. I look at him, I'm like, buddy, you got to give me a bit more than that, But so this is my season of confinement that I'm in at the moment. We've got kung kung and magic. So I'm really praying that he will learn to speak soon. Sage actually said to me the other day, she says, Mom, I wish that I had a sister who was already 2 and could speak. I didn't even ask her to pray for it, because those kids, they've got so much faith, you never know what you're going to get. So I just said, I'm sorry, he'll learn soon. A couple of days before, she had told me we can give Jude away. We can give him away. I would like 2 sisters instead, please. Okay, but what I do know is that even though I've hit this period of confinement, I know that if I'm grateful and I'm content in my season, I can learn my lesson fast, and then we can move on to the next thing. Because I'm loving my life, okay? I do love my life, but I do feel sometimes like I get frustrated, and I say to Craig, like, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. There's these 2 kids, and, it gets crazy. But I know that my obedience, because I know that God said to me, give up your job and be at home with your kids for the year. And I know that obedience is going to pay off. So in the meantime, I've got to find my silver lining, and I've got to find my contentment, and I have to be grateful in the school runs and playing Barbie and Lego and doing washing and packing dishwashers. I've got to find my contentment, and I have to find things to be grateful for every day. Okay. And what I do tell my children is, I'm the best mum for you, and you are the best kids for me. And I just keep telling them over and over and over, and hoping that we will both believe that one day. And when people say to me, so, what book are you reading at the moment? I just told them that I'm reading Facebook. It's a real book. I'm sure it could be. And I know we're all busy, okay? My life was busy before I had kids. My life is busy now with kids. I don't think it ever slows down. I don't think, like when I was in Bible college, I thought, oh my gosh, my life is so hectic. And it was. I worked in the evenings, I went to Bible college in the day, but you know what I did every afternoon? I had a nap. And it was amazing. No, now we're in a no-nap zone. Only the children nap, and while they nap, we, prepare for when they wake up. So yes, it's an intense season, but I'm also aware that every season that we're in is intense, and you have to love whatever season you're in. If you're still at school, enjoy that season. Don't wish for when you were at varsity. Don't wish for when you were married, or had kids, or had your perfect career, or were retired, or had your perfect house, because contentment doesn't come with those things. It comes now. It comes with a choice, and contentment and gratitude are siblings. You cannot have real contentment, I don't think, without being really grateful. And if you start feeling a little bit like shaken up by your life, you've got to just realize you're not in it on your own. You're not, even when all the lights were out, we were all in the dark together. We were all in our season together. We were all in our space of confinement, our wilderness. We're all here for each other. We might not all be going through the exact same thing, but we're all in it together. And you know who's actually here, coaching us, getting us through it, is Jesus. But what you have to do is just give him that second, give him that moment. And what I've been trying to do, and it doesn't work out every day, but what I've been trying to do is when Jude goes down for his nap, I quickly whip out my real book, my Bible, and I think, okay, 15 minutes. Even if I can just do 15 minutes a day, and if I can do it, I really believe that everyone can do it, If you can find 15 minutes in your day to find something to be grateful for, just to connect with God. And when Ches messaged me and said, will you please preach on Sunday? I just thought oh my gosh, God, I have nothing to tell them. I'm up to my eyeballs in dirty nappies and washing all week. I have nothing. I'm empty. And then I thought, okay, God, you can't play games with me here because I've got 2 days. And if you want me to say something, you better tell me. And so I got in the shower because they can't get you there. They don't like getting wet. So I got in the shower and I stayed there until I knew what was coming today. That's my little safe zone. Only if Craig's home, because otherwise, the silence is very worrying. The other thing is when we're in our season of confinement, I've only got 2 minutes left, but I'm going to really just talk fast and just keep up with me. I tried to plant potatoes once. In fact, I did plant potatoes once, and I tried to rush the process because I saw the little shoots come out, and apparently you're supposed to let the shoots die, and then there's potatoes. There were no potatoes. There was one, it was about that big, and I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll cover it back up. I'll cover it all back up and pretend we didn't peep. Pretend we didn't rush the process. It all died, and we had to start over. I had to start over because God is not into rushing a process. In the old days, when I was at school, if you didn't pass your year, you had to actually do it again. And God is old school like that. If you don't get the lesson, you got to do it again, And I remember listening to Joyce Meyer once, and she said, you're going to go around that mountain as many times as it takes for you to actually get the lesson. So if God is trying to teach you something in your season of confinement and you don't know what it is, ask him, because you are staying there until you've got it. So don't try and dig up the potatoes before it's potato season, because you will have to replant those potatoes. You can't cover it up. You got to replant those potatoes, and you got to start again. So you may as well learn to be grateful, because it will get you through this life. Sorry, I sound like I'm really shouting at you guys, and I'm not at all, because I feel like this is so much for me too. I need to wake up every morning and just think of 25 things that I'm grateful for, and don't start with 3 things a day, because anyone can do 3. Do 25, because then you really are being grateful, because you got to think about it, And the other thing that it really hit me is that the Bible says, Jesus came to give us life, and life in abundance. And I look at my children sometimes, and they're whinging, and they're moaning about nothing, and I get so mad with them, and I actually shout, why are you moaning? You have a perfect life! And they just look at me like, no, we don't. I think, you have a mom and a dad. You have a brother. She moans at me. She says, I want someone to play with. I'm like, we made you one. He's right there. And then she's like, no, not him, one that can talk. And so I can see all the positives in their lives, but they can't see it because they're in the thick of it. But I can see it because I made those sacrifices. I was pregnant for 9 months so she could have a buddy, and I puked the whole way through. I sacrificed my sleep every night so that I don't know, actually. We should. Sometimes I don't even know why we make these stupid sacrifices. We make them Weet-Bix every morning, and do you know what? I may as well walk through. I may as well buy my groceries from Spar, and I might as well take those Weet-Bix out the packet and put them in the bin when I get home. We make them both Weet-Bix every morning, and they're like this. That's enough. Thanks, Mom, that's enough. I'll eat nothing till you offer me a biscuit at 10 o'clock. Drives me nuts. But I know that I've made that sacrifice. I know I'd rather save my 15 rand from every box of Weet-Bix that I've made and go on a date night once a month. But no, I buy Weet-Bix and I make it for them every morning. And they don't understand that sacrifice because they aren't making it. But Jesus made a much, much bigger sacrifice for us. He died so that we could have perfect lives. And what we do is we walk around whinging and complaining and sniffing our Weet-Bix and being ungrateful. Stop it! Stop being ungrateful and do yourself a favor. If you have somebody, I had somebody a few years ago. I went through like this really dark season of just being really great at moaning. Really great. But I had some buddies who loved moaning too. So it was great. We all got together and we all just moaned about everything. And you know what? Our lives really sucked. Our lives sucked. And that is not why Jesus died. He did not die so that I could gather my moan buddies and have a moan party. No. My life is better than that, and his sacrifice is worth more than that. Way more. He died so we could have life to the full. So please go forth and enjoy your perfect lives. Okay.